Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh. Before we begin, I just want to say that when it comes to The Witcher, I don't know that much about it. I haven't played the games, and I haven't read the books, although I actually have now bought the first book and I plan on reading it, but aside from that, I don't know much about it. So if I mention something that's explained in either the games or the books, let me know in the comments. Unless it's a major spoiler, then don't let me know. Netflix's The Witcher is based on the Witcher book series by Andrzej
Sapkowski.
It stars Superman himself, Henry Cavill, Anya Chalotra, Freya Allan, the guy who played Mr. Van Helsing in Young Dracula, and just many others. And I have to say, I really enjoyed season 1 of The Witcher. It's not perfect, but for what it is, I really enjoyed it. One of the things I loved most about season 1 was just that it was simply pure, untainted fantasy. You know, we got magic, we got potions, we got swords, we got spells. It's just so unapologetically fantasy, and I love that so much. I mean, with Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, there's magic in it, but some of the magic in it's just quite crap. Like, in Lord of the Rings, the magic is just bad. The Gandalf and Saruman fight is fine, but I mean, they're meant to be wizards. Where are the sparks? Where are the spells? Where are the colours? And in Game of Thrones, when we got to some of the fantastical elements, like the White Walkers, it was pretty great. Until we get to season 8, where the writers simply just flush all that fantastical elements down the toilet. But with The Witcher, we have Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter who uses potions and magic, and it's just great. When the show literally opens with him taking out the Kikimora, I was ecstatic. Not just because it was badass, but the whole thing just screamed, hey, this is a fantasy story. Speaking of which, let's get on to that, shall we? From what I understand, season 1 of The Witcher adapts some of the short stories from the first 2 books of the Witcher series, as well as adding in specific backstories for characters like Yennefer, which was created for the show, as well as delving into like the main plotline of the later books with Cintran and Nilfgaard. Now for me, the show was at its strongest when it focused simply on Geralt of Rivia. Everything Geralt did, I love, whether it's him hunting down monsters or him trying to capture a djinn to cure insomnia. It was just so good, and I just loved him doing his witchering. Episodes 1, 3, 4, and 5 to me were the strongest episodes of the season. Not only were they just action-packed, but the stories were just really interesting. Episode 1, we have the mage Stregobor recruit Geralt to kill Renfri, a cursed princess. He refuses until Renfri tries to kill Stregobor, which then forces Geralt to choose between the lesser and greater evil, resulting in him killing Renfri and being shunned by the people of Blaviken because he interfered when he said that he wouldn't. Episode 3, we have the whole Striga storyline, which was just awesome. Not only was there a cool mystery about who the Striga was and how it came to be, but that final battle between Geralt and the Striga was just simply incredible. And let's just not forget the fact that the Striga was done practically and it just looks incredible. Honestly, the fact that this was done practically just blows my mind. Can we please get more practical effects in TV and movies now? Because, like, they look so much better. I'm honestly just getting sick and tired of every blockbuster just plastering everything with CGI and putting so much work on VFX artists when you can simply do most of it in camera. But I digress. Episode 4 I also thought was very solid. There was some good banter between Geralt and Queen Calanthe. The Dooney and Pavetta subplot was basically the ending of Shrek, which I just loved. And the concept of the Lost Surprise did confuse me at first, but after a second watch, I basically get what it is now. And Yennefer's whole arc in that episode was just spectacular. One of my favourite moments of the show was the monologue she has before she buries the Queen's dead daughter on the beach. The way Anya Chalotra just performed that scene was just phenomenal. It was an excellent scene, and it was just emotionally powerful. Episode 4 also has my favourite moment of the entire season. What's that stench? Soaking more guts. Had to kill it from the inside. I'll take what I'm owed. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, whoa. I don't know why, I love that scene, it's just so good.
Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, whoa. Toss a coin to your witcher, a friend of humanity.
Episode 5, the one with the djinn, was also very strong. Geralt and Jaskia's bromance was just great. It's like ordering a pie and finding it has no filling. I really like the interactions between Geralt and Yennefer, and hey, more shirtless Henry Cavill scenes is not a bad thing. Now, in my eyes, those are the best, memorable, and strongest episodes of Season 1, and that's not saying that the rest of the episodes are bad, they're good, it's just that they all fall under the same category of my biggest problem with Season 1, which is the structuring and the pacing of the story. I'm personally not sure that telling the overarching story of Season 1 in a non-linear fashion was a great way to do it. It's not that it's confusing, because if you sit down for like 2 minutes and think about it, it really isn't that complicated. I just feel like if you put everything in chronological order, certain characters like Ciri really don't do much, especially since all she does in Season 1 is just run throughout the entire season until she meets Geralt in the woods. I personally think that the non-linear form of storytelling was actually a gimmick done by Netflix and the showrunners to get more people to rewatch the show so that it would justify them getting renewed for a Season 2. And hey, if that's intentional, it definitely worked. It got me to watch the whole season twice, so good job, Netflix. Another thing that I feel like that could have been shortened down in Season 1 was Yennefer's backstory. Not that it's bad, it's just that it spans 2 to 3 episodes when it really should have just been one long episode that's just focused on Yennefer. Because episode 2 is basically Yennefer's origin story. It shows her being that abused hunchback who then gets taken in by Toussaint de Vries to then become a mage. But then that episode also has that plotline where Geralt meets Jaskier and they get like beaten up by a bunch of elves, and then Jaskier makes the Toss a Coin song. And although that was great, I thought that the actual overall story of Geralt and the elves was just a bit weak. What I think they should have done is cut out all the Geralt stuff, put that in its own separate episode, and then take all the Yennefer transformation scenes from episode 3 and put that in episode 2. I also wasn't a massive fan of the mage storyline. It just wasn't as engaging as, Geralt and the Law of Surprise and him and Ciri and him just doing his witchering. Especially when we get to the finale where all the mages start facing off. Like, there are cool moments in it, but it just goes on for a bit too long for me. Although, that being said, I love Vilgefortz, and I love his magical sword that just magically reappears to him. It reminds me a lot of Riptide from Percy Jackson. That being said, I'm really interested to see what happens in Season 2. I heard that Ciri becomes a witcher and Geralt's teacher Vesemir trains her, and apparently they're looking at Mark Hamill to play him. Now, I don't know if that's true, but if they get Mark Hamill, oh boy. Oh yeah, I'm down. I love Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill is a treasure, and he needs to be in more things because he's just the best, and he needs to be respected because boy oh boy, did Disney just mess him up in the new Star Wars sequels. Like, why would you waste Mark Hamill like that?
Come here.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia is fantastic. Not only is he just physically imposing and a total badass, but I just love the philosophy of Geralt of Rivia. The speech about evil he gives to Stregobor in episode 1 was just so good. Evil is evil, Stregobor. Lesser, greater, middling. It's all the same. I love the voice he puts on for Geralt. I watched some cutscenes from The Witcher 3 and he really nails the Geralt voice. He's not mimicking it, it's more like he's just emulating the voice and putting his own personal spin on it, and I just love that. I'm also just really happy that Henry Cavill is just getting some love for this show. Like, hopefully Warner Brothers sees this and they greenlight Man of Steel 2 already, like, come on. Anya Chalotra as Yennefer was fantastic. In fact, the character of Yennefer was fantastic. A hunchback who was abused and sold by her family to a mage was just such an incredible backstory, and Anya Chalotra just portrays that tragedy just so well. She is fantastic. She really just highlights the tragedy of Yennefer. One of the scenes that really just stuck with me was that scene when she was in that circular room with all the dresses, and the look she just has on her face, like being surrounded by all these pretty things and nice things, was just so poignant, and it just stuck with me. Anya Chalotra was just so great in this. The conflict with her wanting to have a child but being unable to because of her transformation was really compelling, and her and Geralt's dynamic was great, and just, I love the two of them together, and I just can't wait to see more of her. I don't have much to say about Freya Allan as Ciri other than she's good. Like, she didn't do much this season. All she did was just run away and do that weird demonic scream thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's all leading up to something, and I can't wait to see that, but for now, yeah, Ciri's fine. The supporting cast for the show was also just excellent. Jaskier is awesome. At first I thought he was just a bit annoying and obnoxious because he just kept talking and I was like, shut up, shut up, shut up. But by the time we get to episode 6 and Geralt tells him to piss off, I was just like, no, Jaskier, come back. Don't leave. You're great. No, come back. Come back. And of course, with Jaskier, we get the Toss a Coin to Your Witcher song, and it's so fantastic. Not only is it just really catchy, but just the lyrics are funny. They came after me with a masterful deceit, broke down my lute and they kicked in my teeth, while the devil's horns minced our tender meat. And so cried the Witcher, he can't be bleed. Like, Jaskier is just, the lyrics are funny and just, I miss Jaskier. I hope he comes back for season 2 because he was just fantastic and I want more of him. I also thought Queen Calanthe was a great character. I just loved her swagger and her confidence. And Mousak was a goddamn legend. Sucks that he died. God damn it. Mousak was great. Why'd he have to die? Overall, season 1 of The Witcher is great. Henry Cavill's great. The action's great. The characters are great. It's all just great and I can't wait for more. Like I said, it's not perfect. I wish the show would focus just a little bit more on Geralt fighting monsters, or if that's not the main focus of the episode, don't have Geralt fight monsters in the episodes and just make the actual subject of the episode more engaging. Also, although Netflix definitely spent money on this, and you can tell they spent money on this because they're actually, marketing it, they really do need to just invest a bit more money because the battle scenes in the first episode were laughable. I mean, the Nilfgaard army versus the Cintran army was hilarious because of just how little extras were on the field. It was just really bad. Also, although the score is good, there's just something about it that isn't as memorable to me as something like The Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Narnia, Game of Thrones. Like, the music in the show is good, characters have themes, Yennefer's theme is great, Ciri has a theme, the Cintran theme is good, and the opening title theme is good, but I cannot hum it to you right now. When I think of fantasy scores, I think big, bombastic, memorable themes. Where's my Fellowship of the Ring theme? Where's my theme of Rohan? Where's the Stark theme? Where's the Reigns of Castamere? Witcher doesn't have that. The theme when the title shows up is great. I just can't hum it to you. Now toss a coin to your Witcher. That I can hum.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh valley of plenty, whoa.
But yeah, that's what I thought of The Witcher Season 1. It's pretty great. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Like and subscribe and all the good stuff. Hit the notification bell down there. My social media links are also down in the description, so if you give them a look and a follow, that'd be very nice. I have a second channel where I make short films, so if you give that a look, that'd be much appreciated. And until we meet again, I'll see you guys next time.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh valley of plenty, whoa.